I'm going to respond to this in video because I think this was a really good question. A question from Lily in the comment section. How do you know a person isn't for you and it's time to move on? Okay, great question. I'll just give a quick example. Let's just say you grew up in a family where problem solving was pretty logical. People heard each other out. They engaged in active listening. Everything's not perfect, but people are pretty cool, calm, and collected, and they handle frustrations well. And then you meet someone who's really wonderful, and as you're dating this person, maybe 30, 60 days down the road, you're getting more comfortable with each other, he's getting more comfortable, and he starts to relax a little bit more, which is what happens in dating. The other mask starts to drop off. Everybody's on their best behavior, right? In the beginning. This is normal. You want to put your best foot forward. That makes sense. But people start to get comfortable, which is great because you can take in a lot of data at this point, okay? Just by simple observation. Let's just say you get into a discussion where you don't agree on something. Happens. That's life. You're not going to agree on everything. However, as you're trying to communicate something to this person, the person keeps cutting you off. And you notice that this is the pattern over the past, I don't know, 3 months that you've been dating. And you've addressed it. Hey, listen, I'm trying to get my point out and you're cutting me off a lot. And the person like, oh, sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm so sorry. I might forget what I'm going to say. So I do that sometimes. Sorry about that. You're like, okay. And then you say, now the person is layering on, not only are they cutting you off, they yell. They yell a lot. They're a yeller. Okay, I've used this example in another video. This is just a quick example. This is part of this person's temperament. They have a hard time calming themselves. They have a hard time self-regulating. They're excusing it. Hey, listen, this is how I grew up. This is just the way I am. We're yellers. Okay, to answer your question, Lily, and just stick your personal circumstances in because it's not going to answer the question for everyone. You want to think about your unique circumstances. If you've told a person, listen, I don't like yelling, and you're screaming your head off and it's not necessary to get your point across. You can tell me you can share your discontent calmly. I don't appreciate that. And you say, if you do that again, we're done because that's not a life for me. That's not a life I want. If the person's like, hey, listen, I'm so sorry, I'm working on it, blah, 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 you're going to say, well, how do you intend to work on it? Well, I'm going to slow down my breathing. Maybe I'm going to go to anger management. Maybe I need to focus on getting, one of my parents out of my head. My dad used to be a yeller. My mother was a yeller. That isn't cool. I didn't like it when I was a kid. I wasn't even paying attention that I was doing that. I'll work on it. Time goes on, person keeps doing it. You say, hey, listen, I already shared that this is not something I'm going to abide by. I'm going to take a step back. And you better take a step back because what can happen is if you keep saying, this is not working for me, I'm going to take a step back and you never do, then your words they have no bite. Okay? So when do you know when to walk away? When you know this person does not align with your values. If you're a Christian and they're not Christian, if they want to live in one region of the world and you have set your sights on living somewhere else and you both can't come to a compromise. If this person is a homebody, a couch potato, okay, nothing wrong with that, but you're active. You like to work out, you like to go hiking, you like to go skiing, you like to play tennis, you're an active person. And this person doesn't want to do that. That's not going to serve you years down the line because you're going to be resentful, okay? So again, you're not going for perfection, but you want to get your core values solidified. So if this person is not it, you've got to cut early, okay, in the dating before you get too deeply emotionally attached in years down the line, okay? Again, it's not about perfection. You are not telling a person how to live out their values. You are not trying to force a person into your values. These are your values. This is not about controlling anybody, okay? This is about staying anchored within your values and what's important to you. Your values and your standards. This says the person I marry has to be Christian. The person I marry has to be someone who wants children. The person I marry, yada, 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 yada. Okay? Fill in the blank. If the person is a no-go, That's okay. That is their right. Okay? You just simply say, hey, listen, I thought we were aligned. We're not aligned in this area. That's when you know when to take a step back. If the person's not making an effort, think about all the things that you've invested in. Think for those who have gone to college, for those who have gone into training programs, for those who've wanted promotion at work, you worked hard. You looked at all of the possibilities, all the outcomes. You've planned your life. You scheduled your life around going to classes so that you can get that bachelor's degree, that master's degree, or you've worked overtime at a job so that you can get that promotion, so you can advance in your career. You've made strategic steps to affect an outcome. Yes, dating is not your career or school, but you really want to shift your mindset more in terms of strategy and how you have planned everything else in your life. This is your life. This is the person, if you're interested in marriage, and most Christians are, but if you're not a Christian listening to this, that's fine too. If you're a person who has specific goals and you're going to share your life, share possible children, intertwine families together, share a mortgage, share vacation, downtimes, uptimes, disappointing setbacks, medical conditions, family losses, you want to make sure you have your person. You want to make sure, not perfect, but that is your person. So when do you take a step back? As soon as you possibly can, and as soon as you see a problem way ahead. Don't just think about now. Think about the whole entire playing field. Is this a person I can spend the rest of my life with? And we're talking about the bell-shaped curve, average. Okay, there's always outliers, but we're talking about average. And 9 times out of 10, most people I talk to, in their gut, they know that's not their person. And when I'm coaching or counseling people, whether it's individual marriage counseling, and I ask, when is the first time you saw this behavior or this character trait that is causing you deep misery, increasing your depression, increasing your anxiety, getting your blood pressure up? When did you see this in this person? Oh, I saw it on the second date. I saw it on the third date, fourth date, fifth date. Go. You got to go. We're not into giving chances now. Okay? If you see a blaring red flag, make your statement known. I don't go for that. Something's off about that. Okay? I think you're a lovely person. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. But this yelling and you just cursed out the waitress. Is this the server? Is this how you handle things? Yes, because I'm spending money and they need to get it together. Okay. All right. So that's how you handle things. All right. Well, that's not how I handle things. No judgment. Um, don't think we're going to be aligned because that doesn't work for me. I get like really frazzled when people are screaming, and I want to have children one day, and I really don't want a screaming household. Nothing personal. Okay. All right. So that's it. What do I hear in business sometimes? What is it called? Hire, be slow to hire and quick to fire. Yes. Okay? This is not about being cold. This is your life. And they have standards too. Okay? And if you're not for them, because it works both ways, they sometimes ghost you. Or they say, it's not going to work out. The real gentlemen sometimes just call you up and say, listen, it's not going to work out. Okay, this isn't working for me. No, I thought you were different than what I thought, or whatever it is. Okay, just be honest, not only with the person, but be honest with yourself and be safe out there. Okay, hope that answers your question. Have a great day. Ciao.